What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Chop Shop 205. You got myself, Mr. Esquire. I got my illustrious co-host.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to do it, though. I feel that's an easy way to do it.
Oh man, I love these guys, man. You got Maestro J Fox, man. That's what they do, man. So I mean, I'm assuming this isn't your first time seeing us. You know what we do. You know how we get it in. All right. So don't tell me that you don't know about the Chop Shop 205. We've been doing this too long. Not saying we're not going to get better, but you should know by now. So what we going to do here, we jumping right in.
Here we go.
All right. Today's topic, what will you sacrifice for success? Now, I'm going to just take a leap for a minute and assume you understand the word sacrifice. We're not even going to talk about what is a sacrifice. All right. Success, man, we might need to define success a little bit. And success is not having your phone. That was not successful.
Well, I guess it is. It's successful. It rained.
Yeah. No, that bill paid, so we're doing something right.
Oh, you stupid.
Yeah, no. I had to get off the prepaid, man. I was on the prepaid for too long.
Okay.
Shout out to all my friends at Boost Mobile.
Metro PC. Okay.
You probably got Verizon on, huh?
You know, I do got Verizon now. It's crazy.
Told you.
Which I mean, I'll put it this way. Side topic. They gave me the phone free. It ain't the greatest phone. I definitely not. It's not everything they sold me on, but I realize how old I actually am, and the fact that I probably don't even know half the stuff I could do with it. I got the little Pixel, whatever.
You could if you wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. So I'm good. You know, it is what it is. But anyway, what will you sacrifice for success? Right? Success is defined many different ways. You know, and I'll be honest with y'all, man. I struggled with this one, believe it or not, man. I thought I was going, all week I kind of said, I know exactly what I'm going to say. And believe it or not, it was the drive home today that made me realize I really don't have a clue. Because I'm not sure. I know what success feels like. I'm not sure if I know what it looks like. Most of the time when I have success, it's a result of putting in the work, the discipline of the work and all that. And then I kind of look back and I'm like, well, that worked. And or somebody will tell me, yo, that was real good. You were successful at that. So, I do want to, what will you sacrifice? I mean, I do know kind of what I'm willing to sacrifice to get what I want. I don't feel right now, I feel like I'm on a rookie level in my own life personally. I'm looking at a lot of things I'm doing. I'm like, okay, I'm in the game, but I'm on a rookie level. And I'm just going to tell a quick story that from one of the people that I admire or whatever. Is I always, if you watch the ESPN Derek Jeter, he said something very interesting about, he was a high school success, college success. But when he got to the minor leagues, which of course, that's one step from the pros, he basically, he was striking out like every time at bat. And even to the point when he got to the Yankees, and I grew up in the Derek Jeter era. I lived in New York in the Bronx, Derek Jeter era. Shout out to the Yankees. They won the East last night, by the way. But anyway, he talked about how, like, the manager even said it. The manager was like, we were going to cut Derek. Because they just was like, maybe he can't play shortstop. And we all know that Derek Jeter is easily one of the top 3 all-time shortstops ever, right? So success, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What will you sacrifice for it? I will tell you right now, I would sacrifice a lot. But I also been talking a lot. So I'm going to turn it over for a minute.
Let me throw it out there. I had a thought today. Said I think you have to give up everything to be successful. You have to give up your old ways, your old thoughts. Are you prepared to lose everything to be successful? Your old way of thinking. You may lose good people in your life on your track to be successful, but you have to first define what is success. And I think it's relative to different people. I think it is. An old definition I've heard is when success and opportunity meet. You know, that's a successful moment. So,
Okay.
what are you doing in your preparation? Success just doesn't happen. Success is always intentional. These are things that I've been programmed to believe. Just my thoughts. I don't think it just happens. I don't think you just walk up into success. I think you have to be able to replicate it.
That's a good definition. I like that.
Yeah, because they say even a broke clock is right twice a day. So that ain't,
like that.
That ain't success.
Fox, what you got to say about that?
Because come on.
Oh my God. Y'all just act like I'm just gonna come in and throw a whole wrench. I'm just gonna letting the bull in the china shop. But no, I mean, what I sacrifice? So I just go back to, I can say easily what Larry just said. You might have to sacrifice everything. You gotta definitely sacrifice your former way of thinking. It's hard to take an old mindset, an old mentality into a new situation and expect something different to happen. Sometimes you gotta take the blows that don't feel like you should be taking them. But at the end of the day, I mean, you gotta understand you're gonna sacrifice something to get to where you want to get to. What that is it's up to you. Like me, I say I sacrificed sleep for a few years. Got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, went and worked out for 2 hours, came home, ate like really clean, worked on my diet. I gave up fast food. I gave up pizza night. I gave up Taco Tuesdays. I gave up beer. So like, I got to get back there now. I'm working on that. And, that's what I realized. I gave up a lot, just to lose weight and get in shape and get strong. You see what I'm saying? So it's pretty much like Larry said, you're giving up everything,
I think, and it's clearer hearing both of you. I don't want to miss something that Larry said. And I really want the people listening to catch this. You got to sacrifice a piece of who you are currently in order to become something better. If you were the Taco Tuesday beer drinker, you had to sacrifice that dude to be the power lifter, personal trainer.
Thanks.
And you had a choice. I can be this one or I can be this one, and I can be happy with either one, but I can't be both.
That's
so
good.
I got to sacrifice one of them. Larry, you touched me hard when you said that. And I hope you didn't just say it breezing by it, because it was deep.
I was trying to
very deep. I know for me, because like that resonated with me. The idea of like, okay, like I remember sacrificing a whole group of friends to get to my next level.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the text messages. We was doing the group chat thing, and I remember putting my phone down. And I said, I'm not cool with them dudes no more. And I ain't said, like, every now and then I'll jump in a conversation because we still got group chats.
Yeah.
But mentally, it is what it is. They come to town, I just be like, I'm busy. I'll see them if I can. I'm not a fake friend. Yeah, if I'm not busy, yes, absolutely. But I know I cannot devote the time that I used to, the energy I used to, because I can't be who I am today, which I find that part, I completed that level is the way I looked at it.
Okay.
And once I completed that level, I had to be honest about, okay, I'm going to have to sacrifice that group, not because of who they are, but because of the time that I need to be who I am.
That's good. That's good. I'm kind of there now. It doesn't always make the people bad or wrong. It just, you're just going in a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, hey, this is my exit, man. I'm going to get off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And
yeah.
Because I believe wholeheartedly time is our most expensive resource.
Yeah. That's a nugget. Yeah.
You can't get it, like, whether you're talking about the 4 a.m. gyms, whether you're talking about this podcast, school, music, whatever, your time is the most valuable asset. Like, most expensive, not most valuable. I'm gonna say most expensive, because you just, you can't, nobody, If I lose $20, I can go make $20.
Right.
I can't make up time. There's nothing I can do to recreate time.
Non-renewable or whatever.
There you go. It's non-renewable. So when I think about sacrifice, that's usually the hardest one for me to make. And when I sacrifice my time for something, I want big returns. I want big returns on it. I don't like giving up my time and getting small returns. You know, I know if I can't sleep, I'm that guy that will get up and just start reading a book.
Okay.
So I'm like, it ain't no point. It's no point sitting in the bed staring at the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And I might only be reading a book for 20 minutes and I'll just be like, all right, now I'm sleepy again.
But you read.
Yeah, but I got 20 minutes in, you know, and then sometimes I'll start reading, it's like 2 hours later, and I'm like, wow, you know, so, you know, and sacrifice, you know, I think you do have to have a goal, like your success has to be tied to some goal.
Yeah.
For me, people that focus on, and what I see people making mistakes a lot, and I'm guilty myself, is they don't want to sacrifice first of all, the first thing is they don't want to sacrifice, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't want to sacrifice looking bad.
Oh, okay.
You know, I don't want to fail and then have to explain to people that it didn't work. Like I remember
that's good.
You know, I had to, when I was in school, I had to sacrifice initially certain friendships, or not friendship, but certain people were like, dude, you know, you ain't talking, you don't hang out. And I'm gonna be honest, my first 2 years of school, I was so afraid of dropping out that I told nobody. I was graduating and people were like, I didn't know you was in school.
Bro. Oh, they didn't even know you were in school. You lost me there.
Yeah, no. I was like, bro, I didn't. If I dropped out, I just wanted that failure to be on me. I ain't want to have to hear you tell me about it.
You know how rare, but that's such a rare thing. Most people know people going off the field. That's rare.
Yeah, no.
Guy, because the girls usually do okay, but the guys, man.
So you know, but being able to sacrifice. When I started telling people, I realized there is some motivation that comes with it. So, you know, but that's something that we won't sacrifice. We don't want to sacrifice looking good long enough to grind through whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's the gym. We don't want to sacrifice like, okay, I'm going to the gym, I'm in there at 4 a.m, but I'm still wearing the same size shirt.
Yeah, I'm wearing the same shoes for, you know, somebody want to invest to the point where they become a millionaire at 40, or it's the same thing. Like, yeah. Woo. Yeah. So, what are you willing to give up?
And that's what sacrifice is.
And some people don't want to get, like you said, you can't have the old and the new at the same time. But
no.
Like, to get past that, not want to look bad situation, you got to focus on something. You got to make yourself super hyper focused on something, a reason. Like, you know, maybe somebody said you couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of focus in on the reason. You gotta find that why, and that help you find the sacrifice. You find that why, you'll give up quite a few things.
Find your why. That's another nugget, yo. Find your why, and then they say you find your why, then the how. That's John Maxwell. I think that's Mr. Esquire, one of his favorite.
That's good.
It's the why, then the how. Because if you want it bad enough, you'll figure out how to do it. You figured out a way how to get out on dates, trips, women, whatever. You found a way, whether it was good or bad. You always find a way.
You found some, yeah.
Listen,
to spend that money.
You find a way. May not be the most ethical thing, but you find a way to get by, get over, get through.
Man, my man CT Fletcher said it.
Come on,
I heard CT Fletcher once, and I don't know whether it was a lecture or just a talk. It don't really matter, right?
Here we go. Blip, blip.
CT probably is the only guy on the planet that lectures when he talks. Like, I bet you he'd be in the grocery store, like, I'm getting eggs.
Yeah. ET right behind him. But
hey, I leave Pops alone.
You know what I mean? These are my eggs. You know, I can hear him in the grocery store. Come on, eggs. I won't scramble.
Now,
but anyway, he said something once where, of course, if you know CT's story, had the heart attack, right, but came back from it, right? So anyhow, I love the part of his story where he talked about the doctors telling him, like, look, seriously, dude, if you get back in that competition, it can kill you. And he was like, well, then I die doing what I love.
Oh, yeah.
And I was
heard
it. Man, don't get me started, boy. Oh shit, I'm gonna go work out now.
See, look at him. He can hear the cuss words in it. I hear the.
Oh, that's my dog, man.
When I heard that, I understood and I connected with it immediately, because when you talk about sacrificing everything, will you die? If you die doing it, are you okay with that? Your life there's no greater sacrifice, right?
No, your life, yeah.
There's no great, and we see people all the time. They dead, they just ain't been buried yet.
Ooh, now see, you talk now. Now you didn't have to say that.
I see it all the time. I'm just like, you ain't really got much of a life, and that's my opinion.
Walking Dead, the Walking Dead.
I respect opinion there, but I do that examination often where I'm like, yo, I do not want to be the Walking Dead.
You didn't have to say that today, but man, that's so good. That's so good.
So
just going through the motions.
E.T. E.T. is another one, man. You're absolutely right, man. E.T. is another one, man. That's a real good story. And that's what it is. Like, when you're willing to, what are you willing to sacrifice? My favorite guy, Dwayne Johnson, he sacrificed his dream, and look at him now. Got his own football league.
Yeah, that's true. It took him, eventually. Right.
So
biggest star in Hollywood.
Yeah. But he had to sacrifice his football dream to go to wrestling.
Ain't that something?
He talks about that in an interview, I think it was Oprah, where he talked about, like, the moment when he went, I'm not going to play football, and sacrificing his football dream but then stepping into wrestling 100%.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't wrestling trying to get back to football.
Ain't that something? So he had to let go.
He had to let go of it, man.
Of I'm gonna say everything he knew, or the goal probably most of his life. Like,
yeah, he had to accept that failure. He had to say, Lord, I'm good.
You said it, not me.
I'm good. He had to accept that failure, like, bam, like I said, and I believe we all have at least one story. If you're over 30 years old, I'm gonna put it this way.
Okay.
If you're over 30 years old and you don't have one of those stories in your own life, number one, I would say you probably ain't thinking hard enough. So go back and look.
That's a nice way to put it. Go ahead.
If you really can't find that story and you're over 30, I would argue that you're scared to make that sacrifice.
I want to say you hadn't done nothing bold enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a quote. It's similar, but it's not. If you don't have any enemies, you ain't even in your purpose. Somebody shouldn't like you. Right about that. Everybody ain't your friend. If you pursuing it. Some folks don't like The Rock. He ain't got to do it like that. Somebody hating him, he going right on down the street.
If you find your purpose, and when you find it, you get so involved in it that people look at you and say, you know what, you crazy for doing it. You have found your road. Because I'm plenty sure when The Rock said, yeah, I ain't gonna play football, I'm gonna wrestle. Everybody like, bro, you crazy.
That's fake. It ain't real. Yeah,
10 toes down in it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Years ago.
I'll say this just because, again, I know his story pretty well. They actually told him, like, you'll never be better than your father.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I forgot he was playing football at first. I didn't.
It's like imagine that you giving up your dream, and then the next thing somebody tell you is, okay, cool, but guess what? You'll never be that good at that either. It's like, that's crazy,
Like they lined up ready to shoot him down. Yeah,
but you're sacrificing that dream. You're saying goodbye to your old self. And it's the internal sacrifices that are the hardest.
Yeah.
You got a wife, kids, those are easy things to give up things for. Oh, okay, I'm gonna give up hanging out at the club so I can be a family man. Truth be told, that's not hard. It may bother you every now and then, but the reality is it's not hard to do. Not if you're a real man. And I'm not even gonna talk about these suckers out here that can't handle it.
Yeah, if you really want to
what
be
I'm
a family man.
Yeah. It's easy to say, it's not really, in my opinion, it's not really a sacrifice when somebody promises you something if you do something.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're right. Yeah.
You're going, because we talk about this, like some of my other friends, my law buddies, I call them. We talk about like, dude, I did all that work. You would think they would give me a check when I passed the bar exam. Like you would think you would get some kind of refund that says, okay, you did good, go be a lawyer,
Here's half your money back.
Yeah, the reality is it's like I'm in debt now.
Just the beginning.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I sacrificed all that money to get this piece of paper, but now I still got to go out here and grind to make a living. Mm-hmm. I ain't afraid of doing it. I'm gonna do it. I've already had some successes and failures in that have taught me a lot.
See?
So
yeah.
But I've learned through it all, and that's why I love the gym too. By the way, I like the gym because in the gym you are seeking failure.
That's right. You do work out till you can't. That's right.
If you ain't failing in the gym, you ain't trying.
You ain't going. You ain't pushing hard enough.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know exactly what
30 minutes you're tapping. Guarantee you.
You shaking us up. And you start out, I'm real out of shape. Not like, but you go in doing good and feeling good, but it's like the ego start just
it get harder.
It just does. Even the same weight that you just did like that. And it
get harder.
But it's still working though. So I think that's where it goes. It's working.
It's a mental thing.
It just don't feel like
it's all mental. Everything is like they say football is 80% mental, 20% physical. Like life is like that for real. You gotta think your way through it. You gotta tell your brain not to think too much about it. But my bad. Go ahead.
No, because I love what you're saying. I mean, I don't know about 80-20. I'll go 60-40, but what I'll say is this: your brain is still a muscle.
Gotta work.
We don't think about our brain as a muscle that you gotta push it, and that's what happens in the gym. In the gym, when you sitting under that 300-pound bar, if your mind ain't focused, it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah, you can do a lot of damage. There you go.
You can hurt yourself real bad.
You can do in an instant. Yeah,
you had those life moments when you holding that bar and you just on that bar like.
Okay, we've seen the videos.
Like, am I ready to die to do this?
How bad do I want it?
Yep, I will. Yep.
And then you throw it off, and you're like, "Well, wait a minute, that was over in like 5 seconds."
Just keep going up.
Even when you leave, even when you leave and you hurting, that next day you feeling bad, but it's like a smile on your face when you hurting because you know what you did.
Yeah, I'm teaching. Yeah,
so it teaches you to push through that pain. That's the difference between the winners and the losers is pushing through that pain barrier.
That's a good. I'm gonna make it so super plain, and we didn't forget. How do they test out new products? They test them until they fail. Like they push it. How you know what something can do? We don't know the days of no cars and no seat belts and. They say how things came along after people get hurt and then they go and invent it and stuff. But you have to push it to the max to know what it can do. Yeah.
Thanks.
So, but failure, learning through failure is a learning opportunity.
Every time. And that's what you got to be willing to sacrifice. I saw ego in there. You got to be willing to sacrifice your comfort zone in order to see if you can be successful at something.
Are you willing to be laughed at?
There you go. That's
ridiculed, laughed at,
talked about,
isolated,
left alone.
Yep. Are you ready?
Mocked, just mocked. I mean, just you done. You left that good.
Who you think you are? Who you think you are?
Oh yeah. Oh he.
You next Johnny Cackman. You think you next Johnny Cackman?
You ain't no better than me.
But you know what? I told somebody one time. Somebody said that, and I said, "Actually, I am." I just straight told him. I said it was we were playing cards, and he was like, "Man, I see you working out, man. You ain't no better than me." And I said, "No, for real, dude, I am." And I said, I told him, I said, I got 300 pounds in that bar to prove I am better. I said, the difference, I told him, I said, the difference between me and you is that I know I can do it. You got to think about it.
Ooh. I need a sound effect right there.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's the difference. Now, here's the thing. You might get that 300 and you're happy. But I'm looking at that 300 saying, I better be able to do it because my real goal is 350.
Pushing yourself.
You know, so I'm just gonna keep pushing myself. Like I'm not satisfied with 300. You'll be sad. I told him, I was like, you would be satisfied with that. You'd be happy just to say you did it. I'm like, but for me, I'm looking at like, nah,
or just
man.
beat you. You might go just to beat you. Yeah.
I'm like, even if we do this, I'm not competing with you. I'm still competing with myself and my best self. But see, I'm willing to go back into isolation just to beat you. Yeah. That's how bad I want it. And it's not even about beating you. It's about saying, I know I can do better. And I've learned the tools. And that's what the sacrifice, you know, it's funny. We started out talking and I really thought success was going to be the most important part of the conversation. But I'm understanding sacrifice is the most important part.
Yeah. I didn't feel it. I didn't know it was coming this way either, but this is good.
You know, learning the discipline of sacrifice is like, I mean, you can't get that no other way.
Going without, yeah,
big facts.
And it's not a sacrifice unless you're going without something you like or want. Like otherwise, that's not a sacrifice. Yeah, let's.
I mean, they start out small.
Yeah.
Eventually, may build up. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a child. I'm gonna depict a toy that the child don't like. Okay, you don't play with that toy. That ain't no sacrifice. They weren't playing with it anyway. You got to really come on in there. Yeah.
So how we gonna wrap this up?
Well, I can say this. I'll say comfort is the enemy of achievement. You definitely got to get outside of that comfort zone. You're not going nowhere. Comfort will lull you to sleep, and it's so many quotes and stuff talk about comfort. You almost like a some people treat almost like an illness. It'll lull you to sleep. You won't feel it because you'll be comfortable. What's the whole thing about the frog in the water? They turned it up. They turned it up slowly, and yeah. That comfort. Yeah, he was chilling though. It was
chilling. Yeah. Slowly turned up, and he cooked him to death. But he tried to put him in there where it was already hot. He got touched and said, "No, not doing that."
Mine is simple. If you're willing to sacrifice your old self, you'll find your new self.
That's good.
My final thoughts. Basically, man, just. I mean, y'all said it all. I mean, isn't there else to really say?
You in the gym, you in the gym. I mean, you talk to people every day, so I know. I
demand you to grow.
Look, you gotta say like we said before, you gotta sacrifice everything, your time,
everything.
You know, your whatever your goal is. If you want to be the best lawnmower out there, go cut grass for free for like 2-3 weeks and see how many people start paying you. Many people pull over and say, "Hey, you go cut my grass." But I mean, you got to do a good job. You can't just
right.
That crazy. Yeah. But I mean, you gotta give up some stuff. Like you said, you gotta give up friends. Yeah. Some friends, you might give up. Your afternoon, give up your evenings,
your weekend,
giving up sleep. You know what I'm saying? Shoot,
Yeah, romance. They can go on. Yeah. Some people have success, but they traveling all the time, so they can't settle down. I mean, that's the nature of it. Yeah, I was thinking about one of my brothers that's a coach. It's like the coach can give you the nuggets that you need, but are you willing to listen and apply those things, the application part?
Facts.
And he had people he coached, students, and he said some of them they just don't want it. It's not that they can't do it; they're not willing to sacrifice.
There you go.
Yeah, you can't make them. Then some of them had the heart and not the most talented, but
there it is.
That's it, though.
205 chop shop, sweep the leg. Oh man, yo, we appreciate y'all, man. We love it, man. Like I said, we're gonna keep bringing this to you. We're gonna keep getting better. We're gonna keep making a sacrifice of looking at ourselves because we want to be even more successful than we are now. But we appreciate y'all. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see y'all next week.
Be easy.